Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and anybody else joining me today. Now, this one could get emotional. Yesterday, after battling with injuries since 2020, Jack O'Connell announced his retirement from professional football. In a statement on his Instagram, he said, "This is a very difficult announcement for me to make. Although Sheffield United fans will already know that for the past 3 seasons, I have been fighting to save my professional football career. Today, I am announcing my retirement from football. I have put my heart and soul into this recovery since my knee problems began in June 2020, but this is a battle I cannot win." Now, that breaks my heart. I'm not going to lie to you, Blades. I think that Jack O'Connell has been synonymous with everything good that United did under Chris Wilder. I think he's a legend at the club, and I really just wanted to see him playing football again. Now, since he joined United, I do believe he has become a legend, and he just defined the era for Sheffield United. But before United, he started his career with Blackburn Rovers. He sadly never managed to break into their first team, despite several loan moves, including one really successful period at Rochdale. Now, that successful period at Rochdale saw him get a move to Brentford, where he did make some appearances, but his 16 appearances in the 2015-16 season were not enough to earn him a regular place in their 11, and he was once again sent out on loan, returning to Rochdale for another relatively successful period. But it was in that summer that he really did get the move that came to be the one for his career. He joined Sheffield United for an undisclosed fee on an original 3-year deal under Chris Wilder when we were in League One. Now, his time with United didn't actually get off to that great a start. After only 1 point from our opening 2 games, he had a really poor evening in a 3-0 defeat at home to Southend, where he combined with George Long to just get completely terrorised by Nile Ranger and leave me having nightmares about this game for years. But that wasn't all. In the following game, when United were still desperately trying to get the points on the board, he gave away a frankly ridiculous penalty in the 89th minute away at Millwall, where for some reason he thought we were playing basketball, and it cost us that second point. But after that, he just went on and on and on. United switched to the 3-5-2 system, which saw him become an overlapping centre-back. And this put Jack in his element, and he was on an upwards trajectory that really should have seen him make the England squad. With his mix of pace, his power, but also his ability on the ball, he just absolutely dominated the left-hand side of United's defence, and let's be honest, he dominated the left-hand side of United's attack for 4 seasons, lighting up League One, lighting up the Championship, and of course, lighting up the Premier League in that fantastic season that we had there. Now, there is a question, what is Jack O'Connell's most memorable moment at United? But I think we all know the answer to this question. I think we can all quote it verbatim time and time and time again. And that, of course, is, forget the maths. The Premier League beckons for Sheffield United, and that came after an utterly unbelievable header at home to Ipswich Town, where he must have run from the halfway line 40 yards, completely unbroken stride to power home a header off a corner and all but guarantee that United would be returning to the Premier League after about 15 years away in the wilderness in League One. A fantastic moment, and one that I am so glad that Jack gets to look back on as his career has been a really fantastic moment for himself, but for Sheffield United Football Club as well. But that wasn't the best of it, because once we were in the Premier League, this is when O'Connell really came into his own. Now, I truly believe that based on his performances solely for Sheffield United, and I'm judging all other players on their performances only for Sheffield United, that Jack O'Connell is up there with the absolute best that we've ever had, at the very least in my lifetime, but I'm willing to say of all time as well. His defending during our season in the Premier League was absolutely colossal. He rarely, if ever, lost a one-on-one with an attacker. He was aerially dominant against everybody who he came up against, but he also just continued that fantastic ability he got of charging forwards at every opportunity. He gave United a way of getting on the front foot, of scoring goals, and of really imposing ourselves onto other teams at the absolute highest level. Was it not for big club bias, I believe there is no way at all that he shouldn't have been in England's squad that summer. Tyrone Mings was getting picked when Jack O'Connell was there as an option, and the only reason for that is that Southgate used to play for Villa. I genuinely can't see another one, because O'Connell was head and shoulders above him, and by my reckoning, I will argue with anybody about this. I believe that during that period, Jack O'Connell wasn't just levels above Tyrone Mings. He was the best left-footed centre-back in the country at that time. He 100% should have been in England squads. And was it not for lockdown, I'm sure he would have got there. Before lockdown, United were 6th in the Premier League, and O'Connell, like I say, he wasn't part of the squad. He wasn't another player who was playing for United. He was the man who absolutely defined what Sheffield United had become at that time. He was taken on as a reject who hadn't got in the squad at Blackburn and at Brentford, and then he was the defining overlapping centre half. He took every league on, he dominated them all, and he showed everybody what it meant to play for Chris Wilder's Sheffield United team. Now, sadly, it's at that stage, obviously, post-lockdown, where the injury that would bring about his retirement struck. But I will always remember that at his best, and let's be honest, when I say his best, this was the full 3.5, 4 years that he was at United, because he was always at his best. He was absolutely top level. He was a top standard centre half who would have gone on to have a career at the absolute highest level and made so many appearances for England, because he really, really deserved it. Now, what do we think that Jack O'Connell will do next? Now, as part of his statement, he has referenced a couple of things that he's really looking forward to being able to get on with in his life. I think his first one, he has mentioned his partner, Alex Greenwood. Now, I'm sure for his immediate future, he is going to be doing everything he can to support her and the rest of the England team in the World Cup this summer. I'm sure he'll be there cheering her on and living vicariously through all of her achievements, and I'm sure he's really, really looking forward to that. Sounds as though she's been a fantastic partner and really good for him to try and help him through his recovery. So hopefully he's there to be able to support her through a fantastic achievement this summer. It also sounds as though he's really looking forward to being able to focus on his media opportunities, but also on his own brand, Boast, I believe it is called. I think that's a fitness and lifestyle brand that he's looking to set up for himself. Now, for me, I'm a selfish man, and there are a few things that I would also really like to see for Jack O'Connell. I think long term, wherever possible, if he is interested, if the club are interested, the club really should be interested, I would love to see him back at Sheffield United. If he wants to look at media opportunities, let's get him on SUTV. Let's get him on there as a regular guest, letting him do it week after week after week, because he deserves that opportunity to continue to develop with United. And if he wants to develop as a media personality, let him do that on our own in-brand television show. Let's all the United fans watch him, support him, and see him develop on there. If he's more interested in coaching, if he wants to go down the fitness route, if he wants to look at this fitness brand that he's looking to build, then again, I'd still like to see him at United. I'd love to see him come back as a fitness coach, to see him working with the lads, to see him given the opportunity. We know that he's been doing training. We know that he's put a lot of focus into his fitness work and into making sure that he's ready to be able to take on these next challenges. So I'd, again, just love to see him continue to develop at United. I just think the main thing for me, though, is that he's happy. I think he really deserves that. He really deserves to be able to build a life after football that he is happy with and that he can be content with. I think as United fans, we all have to agree, he gave us unbelievably special moments. He made us really, really happy so many times. And so for me, he just needs to be able to continue as a Sheffield United legend who is capable of being happy in his post-football career. In the short term, though, there are a couple of other things I think we definitely need to see. And I think they are, he needs to come out at Bramall. Now, I think this could be against Palace. It could be before the game. It could be at half time. But I think he really deserves to have that moment on the pitch, receiving the adulation of the fans, letting us serenade him one more time and just singing for him for a significant period of time, reminding him of what he means to Sheffield United and who he has been for our football club. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you do that before a game. You know, there's stress, there's anxiety, there's anger when you've seen 𝗍𝗶𝗄𝐴 sprinting past our defenders. And so maybe it would be better to arrange something like a testimonial where we go there purely to celebrate Jack O'Connell, his career and what he did. But of course, that's not up to me. I just want to see him again. I want to be able to give him that response that he deserves, and I think hopefully we will get the opportunity to do that very, very shortly. And I would ask all United fans to be there, to stay, to stick around, to make sure that you're there in the stands for Jack O'Connell, because he absolutely deserves it from every single one of us, because he has been an outstanding footballer. But there's one last thing that I think we all have to end on, and I'm sure everybody will join me. Jack O'Connell's magic, he wears a magic hat, and if you threw a brick at him, he'll head the chuffer back. He'll head it to the left, he'll head it to the right, and when we win promotion, we'll sing this song all night.